What's going on, everybody? In this video we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, blue fragrances. The reason I like blue fragrances so much is they're just usually very versatile, easy to like, smell great, work in every situation, and more times than not they perform really well. And that's definitely the case with the 10 that I brought today in this video, and I want to talk to you about them, so stay tuned. Starting with one that I wore just a few days ago, it kind of gets overshadowed by some of the other flankers in its line, that being YSL Live, the Intense Eau de Toilette. That's right, because the EDP gets all the love because it is a crazy, absurd beast. This one definitely has similar longevity to that without being quite as loud. Okay, performance is still stellar on this one, and wearing it for the first time in a while reminded me just why I love this fragrance so much. It has all of the best qualities of Invictus mixed with the best qualities of the Y DNA. It smells like a combination of the two. It's got a sweet aquatic type of vibe while leaning more towards the Y DNA. It's definitely attractive. It's still pretty loud in the first hour and a half to 2 hours. Then it sits a bit closer to the skin, but this is a compliment magnet and a half. It's one that every time I've worn it, except for this most recent wearing, I recall getting a compliment just about every time I've wore it, because it's just so easy to like. That's one of the beauties of these blue fragrances, and if you're looking for one that's not going to overwhelm in projection but still stick to your skin and really last a very long time, you might want to get your nose on this one, because even though the Le Parfum is great, the EDP gets all the love, this is kind of overshadowed for being just how good it actually is. The following day at the recording of this, I actually wore this particular fragrance. I've been in the mood for some blue fragrances. I guess that's why we're discussing blue fragrances today. I'm talking about Davidoff Cool Water Intense. So this, a beast is an understatement. Calling this fragrance a beast anyways. Though ambroxan's not listed in the notes, it definitely smells like it's full of ambroxan. It's very playful, nothing serious, easygoing. This is a head turner, an attention grabber. It's very loud. If you're not easy with the sprays, it will overwhelm. It is a room filler, and it lasts, it seems like, forever on my skin. I'm just getting over the flu, so I only did 2 sprays, and it was more than enough. I didn't want to be overwhelmed by my fragrance, but 2 sprays was plenty. 2 sprays of this is the equivalent of 5 or 6 or even 7 of average performing fragrances. This is a very loud fragrance. If you dial up the sprays, gigantic scent bubble. You can overwhelm yourself for sure. Like I said, nothing serious here. If you're looking for something that's just a joy to wear, fun and playful, easy to like, and can definitely turn some heads, for the sub $40 range that you can get this from discounters, it's absolutely worth looking at. It smells nothing like the original Cool Water. It's Davidoff Cool Water Intense. Admittedly not my favorite designer release of 2021. I do think it was a great addition to the line. I think it was a good move for Prada overall, because they do very well with mass appealing fragrances, that being Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. More of a sweet aquatic type of take on the Prada Luna Rossa DNA. The iris that's used here isn't the lipsticky waxy type that you'll find in Dior Homme. It's not the earthy natural Florentine iris that you'll find in some niche fragrances. This kind of falls in the soapy floral fresh category for iris, where it just adds enough. There's a light powderiness here without making it a very powdery fragrance, and it's got a sweet aquatic vibe without having an Invictus vibe, which is very refreshing. There is a little bit of originality here for what it actually is, but it's not some unique DNA at the same time. Very easy to like, good attention getter that's fresh, a little bit much for the gym. I did wear this one to the gym a few times when I was doing the testing for it for the review that I did a while back, but it's one that can definitely turn some heads. You have to be mindful of the sprays. It's surprisingly powerful. It's one that 4 to 5 sprays is more than enough, I find. Whereas if you go more than that, I think it'll kind of sneak up on you with how powerful it actually is, and can even overwhelm yourself if you're one that likes to spray really heavy with your fragrances. So performance is definitely above average. I wouldn't call it a beast by any means, but it's definitely a strong performer for sure. And like I said, it's easy to like, it's sweet, it's aquatic, it's fresh, it's a little powdery, it's extremely blue. Solid release for the House of Prada. Check this one out if you haven't yet. It's Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. If Aqua de Jo was a brand new release, Profondo would be that release. I firmly believe that, based on how modern designer fragrances lean towards that mass appealing, easy to like, versatile type of feel. This is that. Aqua de Jo always was that, but this is just a much more powerful version of that. It's much more marine, aquatic, by the beach type of feel. Less on the greens, more on the blue watery nature, if you will. It's got this unique synthetic aquazone note that kind of adds that aquatic feel to it on top of the sea notes that this line is known for. Performance is stellar. This is bordering beast mode territory in longevity and projection. It definitely performs above average across the board. It's a great attention getter. This one will pull a compliment or two. This was a great release for the line, and like I said, it's the modern take on the DNA. If Aqua de Jo was a brand new fragrance in 2020, 2021, this would be what the base DNA would be all about, based on the trends of today. If you haven't tried this one yet, you're kind of living under a rock. It's a must try in my opinion, especially if you like versatile, enjoyable, and high performing fragrances. Get your nose on this one if you haven't yet. Never a bad time to wear this one. Aqua de Jo Profondo. So this is another one that a 90s fragrance reimagined. That being Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum. This could be heralded as Boss Bottled Blue, technically, because this has that familiar sage note that ties a lot of different blue fragrances together to kind of have somewhat of a similar scent profile to one another. This one, you still get a little touch of the Boss No. 6 DNA, though it's not the apple cinnamon feel, it's cardamom replacing it. You do still have that warm apple spice type of smell in the background, but it's a much more modernized take on that DNA. That's why I say if this was a brand new release, this would be the original DNA in today's market based on trends for Boss Bottled and Boss No. 6. So if you like some of the Boss Bottled line, but maybe the original scent profile you find a bit dated and too old because you're a bit younger than me, you're not from my generation, this is probably the one for you. Get your nose on it. It performs very well. It's in the 8-hour range on my skin in longevity without being an overwhelming projection, but it is pretty pronounced. The more you spray, the heavier your projection will be, the bigger the scent bubble, obviously. But first 2 hours, it's definitely no slouch. It's above average in projection. And like I said, it sticks to my skin till about the 8-hour mark before it becomes a skin scent. So definitely give this one a try if you haven't. Nobody's really talking about this one these days. That's Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum. My absolute favorite from this particular house. Some of the fragrances are a hit, some of the fragrances are a miss, but for me, Ocean Noir from Michael Malal is the highlight of the brand. Of course I'm going to feel that way because I love blue fragrances. And this is more of a dark aquatic. While there's not really any particular note that would give off why I get this kind of incense dark vibe to it, there's a darker nuance. It's still very blue, fresh, and aquatic, but believe it or not, this is actually one of the higher quality scents in this particular video. As far as blue fragrances, they're traditionally more on the synthetic side, whereas this one definitely smells a bit higher quality than some of the other fragrances that I've mentioned so far in this video. It definitely has a mysterious vibe to it. It's not a loud projector. It definitely allows for discovery. And like I said, that dark nature to it adds a mysterious quality, so you may get a whiff of the light whiff of the aroma to captivate you and make you want to discover more. That's something I really enjoy about this scent profile. It's different. It doesn't smell like every other blue fragrance, but it's not super mold-breaking, interesting, unique at the same time. But what it does very well. Definitely sticks to my skin in the 8+ hour range, but the projection is a bit more subdued, and like I said, allows for discovery. Sometimes that's better in certain situations, especially if you want to wear a blue fragrance in evening situations. I think this is ideal for it. Get a sample and try this one if you haven't yet. It's hands down my favorite from the house. This is Ocean Noir from Michael Malal. So believe it or not, there's a clone fragrance in this video, because this is one of those very, very rare instances where I enjoy the clone more than what it's cloning. That being Al Haramain Amber Oud Blue Edition. So this is cloning Bleu de Chanel EDP. And I don't know if it's the added robust nature of the scent, but there's just something about it that makes me like it a little bit more than Bleu de Chanel EDP. Those of you familiar with my channel, you know when it comes to Bleu de Chanel, I only have the Parfum. It is my hands down favorite of the 3 concentrations at the recording of this available on the market. The EDP and EDT never captivated me to make me want to buy a bottle. I've sampled them many times, whereas with this, I find myself oddly enjoying it way more than I ever enjoyed Bleu de Chanel EDT or EDP, or the both combined, honestly. Performance is 8+ hours on my skin. It sticks to my skin. It never seems to want to go away. It provides that mass appealing, highly likable, professional, polished, freshy type of scent profile that Bleu de Chanel is known for, that made Bleu de Chanel so popular. This definitely encapsulates all of that, but I do get a little bit better performance and a little bit richer aroma from this. I don't know if it's the difference in the oils, a higher oil concentration, or what, and I can't really pinpoint it, but there's something about it that makes me like this more than the original. I picked this up for around $60-ish from fragrancebuy.ca when it released, and everything I've tried from the Amber Oud line has been stellar thus far. Fantastic clones of what they're copying, and like I said, it's a rare instance where I prefer the clone over the original. In this instance, I definitely recommend trying Al Haramain Amber Oud Blue Edition. The best performing chrome fragrance I've ever put on my skin, for sure. A Zoro Chrome Extreme. Very blue, and it is a very extreme version of chrome. It's well named, I have to say. Because here you're going to get that metallic, aquatic, citrus vibe of chrome to the 10th degree. It's heightened, it's extreme, it's much more marine and blue and loud. If you're looking for performance, this is full of great performance. Projection, longevity, it's got it all. It's versatile. It'll work well in the cold if you like fresh fragrances when it's cold outside. You're not the type that likes darker scents as it cools down. This may be your cup of tea. You can get it in the $50 range. It's affordable, but not super cheap. It's definitely far from expensive, and it performs well above its price point. This performs like a much higher end fragrance or a much higher oil concentration. It's no slouch. Yes, it's a bit fresher than I would like in the cold weather, but like I said, if you're the type that likes to wear fresh fragrances year-round, in my opinion, this is one of the best fresh fragrances to wear year-round because it has the ability to cut through cold weather. You can wear this one in the snow, no problem, and you will smell great. Definitely a head turner. And like I said, it's probably the most appropriately named fragrance in this video because it's absolutely the extreme version of chrome. Check this one out if you haven't yet, Zoro Chrome Extreme. It's hard to have a fragrance video about blue performers without discussing Bulgari Aqua Atlantique, because in my experience, this is one of the best compliment-getting blue aquatic fragrances I've ever smelled, ever put on my skin. You gotta be mindful of the sprays. This will fill a small room with 5 sprays, in my experience. I have a backup 100 milliliter gift set that's got a little half-ounce bottle with it as well. This stuff is stellar. Granted, if you wear this one in the cold, you'll smell like you're hanging by the beach in the snow, as weird as that sounds, because this one definitely smells like a summer fragrance. It smells like the summer version of Dylan Blue. Take Versace Dylan Blue and the original Bulgari Aqua and combine them, and you get Aqua Atlantique. You get the best of both worlds. You get that marine aquatic vibe of Bulgari Aqua with the blue incensey ambroxan type of feel that Dylan Blue has to offer. I've always thought that ever since the first time I smelled this one. I have gotten many compliments in my life with this one. I've had this one for several years, and I kind of exclusively wear it in the summer because, like I said, it smells like summertime to me, but you can definitely wear this one year-round. It's got the performance to cut through the cold. If you like fresh fragrances and you want a performer, you have to mention this in a video like this, Bulgari Aqua Atlantique. Last, this is a bit more obscure of a blue fragrance that nobody really talks about. It's exclusive to Perfumania. I did sample it at a Perfumania and ended up leaving with a bottle because I enjoyed it so much. That being Mercedes-Benz Man Bright. That's right, you don't really hear anything about this one. So what's different about this one is the Bright name is fitting. It has a super bright bergamot opening. Very energetic and invigorating and uplifting in the opening. As it starts to settle, it starts to resemble Bleu de Chanel heavily. The heart of this fragrance is pretty much Bleu de Chanel. But as it starts to get into the dry down, it starts to get a little bit more powdery and sweet because at its core, it's a tonka bean blue fragrance. So it kind of takes three different styles of fragrance and combines them into one to make a super bright, fresh, familiar, mass appealing, powdery sweet fragrance. I really, really dig this one. I understand why most people don't want to get it, because if you have Bleu de Chanel, it can be a bit redundant. Definitely a try before you buy. You have to go to Perfume Mania to try it. It's exclusive to them and you're gonna pay retail. That's the thing, most people don't want to spend $90 on a Mercedes-Benz fragrance. I understand completely, but it's one that I definitely enjoy. I really liked it when I sampled it, and I had to have it once I tried it, hence the reason I have it. I'm one of the few in the crowd that I know of that have this and that talk about it and that enjoy it. It's an 8+ hour fragrance. It's not absurdly loud. It's more in that moderate projection type of realm, but it does stick to the skin and it does offer a little bit of character while being, I guess some could call it, bland, basic, and typical mass appealing blue at the same time. So that's probably why it gets a little bit of a knock, but I say try it. Just try it. You may love it. You won't know unless you spray it on your skin and take it for a test drive, and you have to go to Perfume Mania to do so. There's locations all over the country. Definitely see if there's one near you so you can go get your nose on it. Try this one out. You may end up enjoying it. Mercedes-Benz Man Bright. Well, that's the 10 I have for you today, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What in this video do you have, or have you tried? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious what you think about some of these fragrances, and what in this video have you not tried that maybe piqued your interest? Let me know about that as well. I love reading stuff like that in the comments. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.